What's up, guys? We are back again, and you guys hopefully have been enjoying the new videos that I'm putting out for you, especially with my job history. I mean, there's been a lot of times where I really just enjoy talking about the old jobs I've had, because some of them was interesting, others were not very interesting, or just a real pain. And I'm gonna get into one of the main uh, jobs that I regret even being hired on, and then even just trying for this job. I remember that when I moved to Louisiana, one of my first jobs was actually Target. Now, again, you guys are thinking, oh, that would be a great job. You would have perks. It's a very nice place and all this stuff, right? Of how big, that the Target name is always portrayed, right? Well, that wasn't always the case. Um, when I used to work at Target, I worked there for about a couple months. And the reason why is I can't remember what exactly I was wanting to be hired for, but overall, I got hired for a stalker, right? And I got I was so used from other retail, and I got I would say a lot of crap, because I kept wanting to compare Dollar General, because you guys already saw the other video, I worked at Dollar General, uh, to this. And it was just like, oh, well, you're not there no more, and they had, I guess, higher standards. But it's funny, because anytime that I go into Target now personally, you can't find an employee. They're either rude, or they don't know what they're talking about, or they're just worthless. Like they just, like, they don't want to be there, or they just have no reason to be there. And that's sad to say. I mean, because when I was younger, I used to love going to Target, and now I absolutely despise it, because the only time I want to go is basically to find figures, or to find something that I want. That's really the only reason why I go to Target anymore. I don't try to buy any food there. I don't try to buy any kind of accessories there. I don't like Target. The only thing I like about Target is, some of the Target exclusives that they have, or figures, or games, or anything entertainment wise. But back to the original story. I got hired, and it wasn't that bad of a job at first. I had a couple buddies I made when I started out, and one of them, I don't remember his name, but he was a good guy. He was trying to get a job at a local casino that I didn't even know about that type of life until I got later on in life for that job. But he didn't want to work there either. I just saw how bad they treated their employees, and I was beyond overtired. I was beyond overworked, because I would get yelled at by employees or management because of whatever. And the main thing that really, as the old saying goes, drew the hump on the camel's back, so to speak, is because I was in school at the time, and I remember I was trying extremely hard to just go ahead and stay, because if you guys do not know, I was making close to the dean's list, and I was making A's, and I was busting my tail. But what really pissed me off was, they're like, oh, well, we're gonna have, out of everybody they could have picked, they picked me and another guy that was new. It was his first week on the job, to have us redo different sections of the store. So what we did is that it was from closing all the way till 7 in the morning to redo all these areas, to basically take heavy product off and then redo everything, from the wallpaper, everything. And I'm sitting here, and I'll be honest, I didn't want to do it, and I'm beyond tired, and yet they wanted to have me work, and it really messed up my schedule. It really messed up everything about how I thought of what I wanted to do, and I just thought, oh, well, find this. I wasn't shown a lot of things. I wasn't shown how to do inventory. I was not shown where to find stuff. I was not shown their version of how to put product on the shelf. I was not shown anything. And I remember one night I made a comment, and because you had 3 supervisors there, right? You had 3 supervisors there, and it just felt that they were pushing me out for a lot of reasons. And what happened was they're like, "Oh, well, you don't know how to use this scanner." And I looked at her, and I'm like, "No one showed me." And she started talking crap behind my back, and I'm sitting here, and I'm like, I didn't say anything rude. All I said was no one showed me. Whether you didn't like my tone or anything, that's irrelevant. You may be a shift leader or a manager, but still, I'm just going to talk to you the way I'm going to tell you. But either way, did that. The whole entire week was horrible, and then they put me on day shift, and then they put me on night shift, and it just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I told them to keep me on day shift, that way I could do my studies at night. They didn't like that. So I got sick one time, and then I missed like 2 days, and I spoke to one of the management. He had a big problem with me. I don't know what his deal was. He was just a very rude person, and he wanted me gone. I already knew that. And I spoke to 2 other managers, and the main manager, he was so full of himself, man. I'm going to tell you this right now. The main GM of this store, he did not know nothing. He showed me things that, supposedly he could do, which was the wrong way. So I was getting shown one thing by one person, and then something I was getting yelled at by the next person that I was doing what I was just taught. So that was the biggest problem. Like the old saying goes, too many Chiefs, not enough Indians. Right? So what initially happened was I didn't want to come back. I didn't. I was beyond tired. I was very angry with the company, and I just didn't want to go to work because I'm having to go about 25 minutes out or more, and you're having me work in a place where I'm pretty much getting demeaned. I'm getting looked at like you're stupid, you're worthless, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, it's taking everything I have not to go off on, whether it be management or coworkers or whomever. I just didn't want to be there. And it was very funny because new hires kept getting, it was a revolving door. They just kept on leaving. They kept on leaving. And like my buddy that got hired around the same time I did, he left. He left within like 2 weeks because he just couldn't handle it. And then the guy that I was talking about that was helping me on night shift, he left within a week. So he just was like, nah, I'm not doing this. Because nobody was helping. The management was not helping. They'd just be sitting on their butts talking. They wouldn't help us, no nothing. And I said something about that. And apparently, some guy said that, they didn't like your tone, and they didn't like how you were saying this and that. And I'm like, but I'm speaking the truth. Like, y'all are not helping. You're just sitting there, and you're gossiping like high schoolers when you could be helping. And y'all both are older than me. So that happened, and then going back to, I talked to one of the managers, and I told her about how I felt about everything, how I was getting treated by one manager and then another manager, and she's like, well, okay. She says, I'm going to put a good word in and see if we can get you on day shift permanently, and then that'll wake up with your studies. She's because that's very important. And then, of course, she's like, well, come in tomorrow morning, and I'll be there, and I'm going to talk to you. Okay, cool. So I go in there, and I remember that I walked in, and I got dropped off by my ride, and I saw the other manager's vehicle. And this was the guy that I always went bat to bat with. He and I never saw eye to eye. So he's sitting there, and I'm going into the store, and I walk in, and I'm clocking in, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and then I'm looking for the one I'm supposed to report to, my lead. And I go, and I can't find him. I can't find him anywhere. Oh, he's talking to so-and-so. I can't remember their names. This is how relevant this job was to me, and even now. So I go, And I'm like, hey, you know, what's going on? Where do you need me today? And I also asked where the other manager was. And I get told, oh, well, she's not here. And I look at, I'm like, I wasn't even talking to the management. I was talking to my shift lead. I was like, okay, what do you need me to do? Without missing a beat, management goes in and he goes, well, I'm surprised. What did he say? He says something. He said something about, oh, well, good to have you back. And I said, all right. And he just kind of, I just went, right. And then he kind of just looked at me and he's like, well, what's your problem? And I looked at him and I just got this, I had this weird look on my face. And I looked at him and I said, you really want to know what my problem is? He goes, yeah, I want to know what your problem is because you've had attitude ever since you started working here. And I looked at him and I said, take a look in the mirror. I said, my problem is with you. And he just kind of looked at me. He said, why do you have a problem with me? And I looked at him and I said, because every time I talk, you demean me and you're telling me to shut up and you're telling me I don't know anything. And I said, but it's kind of funny how I can run circles around you and everybody else. And they're like, and my shift lead's like, oh, well, we don't need all this. And yeah, I overheard about you need school. He says, but this is important too. And I looked at him and I said, okay. I said, you're still working here, right? He goes, well, yeah. And I said, but yet you're trying to say school's not important. And he couldn't say anything. And then my manager, he gets involved. He says, well, you need to watch your tone. And I looked at him and I said, why? I have every right to speak my mind. And the way he kept on going, and he says something else. And this was a threat, y'all. Let me explain something to you guys. I do not look for confrontation. I do not seek confrontation. Confrontation always comes to find me, whether it be verbally or physically. And I'm sitting there, and I'm standing there. I have my hands behind my back because I'm waiting for something to happen. And the way that this manager was approaching me made it seem like he wanted to fight me or he was going to assault me. And I'm sitting here, I'm standing there, and I looked at him, and he says, I can't remember what he said. And I said, excuse me, sir? He says, well, you heard me. I said, no, I didn't hear you correctly. I said, what'd you say? He said something about, oh, well, that attitude is going to get popped in the mouth. And I kind of looked at him and I said, okay, is that a threat? And he just kind of looked at me like, well, no, it was a promise. And I looked at him and I'm like, okay. And I told him, I said, you lay one hand on me, I'll have your job literally in my hand. He thought I was bullshitting him, guys. He did. He thought I was bullshitting him. And I told him, no, you're not going to touch me. Because that's assault right there. And I have every right to defend myself if you do choose to assault me. And so he kept bowing up, which you guys don't know what bowing up means. Bowing up, if, again, anybody does not know that term, I don't know what to tell you. He just kept, he was a bigger guy. I'm just going to be blunt. He was overweight and he was big. And he kept on trying to push me, and he didn't put his hands on me, but he kept on pushing me with his words to think I was going to do something. I didn't say anything derogatory. I didn't do anything wrong. And then finally, he just was like, "Oh well, you know, for this." I like, you know what? I said, maybe I should just leave. Well, maybe you need to do that. I said, yeah, maybe I do. And he kept on saying, "Well, have a good day, have a good day, have a good day." And I walk out of the store, and I'm walking outside, and I call my ride. And my ride comes and gets me, and then I overlook everything, and I'm just like, damn, I can't believe that a manager wanted to fight me over something I didn't even do. It was just crazy. And I'm sitting here, and I'm like, dang, man. And then I ended up quitting. I left. I quit because I pretty much said I quit. I'm done. I'm not doing this. And what was so funny is about a year or two later, a couple years later, I heard rumors, and it just kept getting worse at this location. Then about some years later, I went into that Target again. I saw the shift lead, but I didn't see no management. From what I heard, they cleaned house. That manager that was confrontational with me actually, from what I heard, got into an altercation with an employee. So that just goes to show you that there's a lot of people that should not work in anything that has to deal with customer service, or people that just have no right to work with other people. And it was just a very bad experience. I mean, I absolutely despised Target after that. I despised the workers, the workplace, everything. And at least I can now say with the job I'm doing now, I don't have to put up with that kind of stuff. I really don't have to deal with a lot of things that I've had to deal with. And again, I didn't think this video was going to be that long, but other jobs that I've had, guys, you're really going to go, wow, I can't believe he really did that. But either way, let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments down below. If you guys work for Target, have you guys ever had this happen with another company? Please let me know down in the comments. This video is going to be like my daily videos. I'm not always going to be doing this in my car. I decided to do this a little differently. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is going to be titled When I Worked at Target. But let me know what you guys think about it. I hope you guys are enjoying your day. And I'll see you, as always, on the next one.